Good morning, everyone. I hope you've brought your drink of choice with you. We have an amazing guest today. Many of you who check us out on The Aging Expert are familiar with Don. He has such a vibrant story, and so we are really excited to get into what we're talking about today. So before we go there, I'm Carol Henderson with Life by Design. I help you to plan your life out because you can design your life, and we want it to spiral up, not spiral down. And my great co-host, Miss Barbara Ellison.
Hello, everybody. I'm Barbara Ellison, founder of Wellness Playroom for the best version of you. And we all have a choice every day. So today, make the choice to be the best version of you. So
Yes. And Don has done that. Don has done that. He has done so many fun things in his life. And, he has reinvented himself kind of, sort of, a couple of times. Well, I mean, it's all been in one vein, as far as helping people. So let's go there today, Don. How do you improve other people's lives? What is it that you bring to the table to help people have a better life and a better outlook?
Well, I love to teach for one thing, and I think had I not chosen writing as my professional career, I think a close second is teaching. And so that's kind of been a sideshow, I guess, if you will, or advocation. So we teach fourth and fifth graders in our home church, and they get a lot of energy off of them. That's about the most vivacious group and creative also. I take notes when we're teaching. I also teach ESL, English as a second language. I love that because it keeps me involved internationally. I have a group of mid-level executives at Mercedes. We have a Mercedes plant here in Charleston, and one German, and let's see, two Mexicans, one from Colombia and two from Argentina. So love that. Love teaching. I love teaching English and writing. Also, will occasionally take on a private student. I love teaching writing and English composition because those are so close to my heart. So that's one way I like to help people. I also like to just sort of do street theater, like drop jokes. So I'll walk up to someone in, the supermarket or just on the street and strike up a conversation. I like doing that. Like, not street theater exactly, but just people are generally friendly and they like to gab.
Yeah.
So
And so
maybe,
oftentimes people are afraid to do that. They're afraid
yeah,
to chat with somebody in the line at the grocery store. Barbara and I are in some groups that we're trying to help them to learn how to do that. And right now we're doing a thing called two-a-days. You have to go with two people a day. Now,
I
that
love that.
you haven't talked
Yeah,
to in a long time, or two new people totally, whether you're meeting them on social media, if you're, like I live 45 miles out of town, so I don't go to town every day, but
right.
meeting up with them on social media or meeting them at the grocery store, whatever, you have to meet two new people a day and you have to write it down. And
Oh, I love that idea. That's like great. And, with COVID and some other things that are going on in society, it made us afraid sort of one another. And one of my big beliefs in life is that we were created for relationship. And so, hey, what you guys are teaching there, step out and, step out and greet those people and strike up a conversation.
yeah.
yes,
So beautiful.
people were already afraid to step out and meet people
Yeah, yeah.
before
That's
the
right.
lockdown, and the lockdown just compounded it.
It
And,
did.
and in
Yeah.
my story, when I was in high school, the hardest thing I ever learned how to do was smile first. If
Yeah.
somebody smiled at me, I was great to smile back at them. But and my best friend from high school walked up to me at my locker one day, or I guess maybe we were out and about in the car, and she said, "Why do you always stand at your locker and be so sad?" I'm like, "What's sad?"
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
some people have those mouths that automatically turn up. Well,
Right.
mine kind of turns down a little bit. And so if I'm not actively
Yeah.
smiling, it looks like I'm either mad or sad. And
Right.
so at that
Right.
point, I thought I have got to start smiling more because I'm not a sad person. I'm not typically a mad person. So, that's it was a choice, and it was a learned process to smile a little bit rather
Right.
than just be relaxed. And, I always tell people on our show, smiles are free. You smile at the person at the post office, they go smile at the person at the grocery store, they go home, smile at their kids, smile at their, it just is ripples in the pond. And if we'd all smile more, I think we'd all be a little more content and happy.
Well said.
And I think so much of it is a choice. Like I remember one day I was working with a gal, and she was just really having trouble with her, I think he was like 12 or 13. And she was just beside herself with it. And I just finally looked at her one day and I said, well, Karen, when was the last time you hugged him? Oh, he doesn't like to be hugged. I said, yeah, that's his age. You just do it and you tell him, you know what, you might not like me to hug you, but I will, and I will promise I won't do it in public, but at home, I am going to hug you because I need to hug you and I'm your mom. And
Love it. Yeah.
she came in the next day and she said, Barb, it's like he's turned over a new leaf.
Yeah, great. That's
Because he
great.
got
That touch.
attention.
Yeah.
He got attention from her. That wasn't just what do you mean you're doing? What do you mean you did that? Why haven't you done this? All of that. When was the last time you went and hugged him and told him how proud you were of him?
Right.
And she said, Barb, it has absolutely changed our relationship, because boys especially go through that. Mom, you are not going to hug me. Okay, fine. I won't hug you in public. But at home, you're getting hugged whether you like it or not. And
I
so
love that.
now that's one of the things that both of my boys, they're known for the fact that they will hug their partners.
Right.
Well, they kept it as a learned experience, because that is so important.
Well,
Great.
a couple of weeks ago, we talked about love languages, and some
Oh,
people's
yes.
touch is their language.
Is their love language.
My oldest son's birthday was yesterday, and his is cards and words. So I try to always make sure that I give words on. So, yeah.
That's great. That's just great. Yeah. I love that. I love that, building relationships. It might be like in your immediate family, that's actually first priority with us, would be our sons and daughter-in-laws and grandson. But beyond that realm, to reach out, make a new friend, what better initiative is there than that in the world, right? And maintain the old. I think it takes work to also maintain your friendships, but yeah, make a new
And
one.
nowadays, I mean, you can make friends all over the world. I have best friends that we've never actually touched belly to belly, and
Wow.
yet we are best friends.
There you go. Yeah.
Because we've been together for so many years. Like Carol and I, we were best friends long before we actually physically met.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, we were actually even doing the podcasts, I think, before we
actually met.
And and for years before we did the podcast, we were in a mastermind together. So
Cool. That's cool. Yeah.
And so now I think there's so many more opportunities for people to reach out, like in this 2 a day. Reach out, use social media, or if that's not your boat.
Okay, hold on a second. Does Betty have her phone going? I'm getting feedback.
Feedback. I don't think we have any feedback here.
Okay.
I'm just hearing feedback. So
yeah, I thought it was just me, but yeah, no, it was. But the thing is, people have so many more options now. Like just before this, I was on one of my groups. It's called Deluxe. I'll give them a plug. Deluxe Network Program, and we had a little podcast. Well, I got to meet 4 new friends.
Yay! That's great. That's great.
There's something for everybody, everywhere, anywhere.
Right.
Just be willing to step out of your comfort zone. I mean, if you don't want to meet people in public, go on a podcast, go on a forum, go on Alignable. There's all sorts of places for you to meet people.
Right. To me, another element of that is to encourage one another. I think these are
Right.
these are really difficult times. I mean, I've lived long enough to have seen quite a bit of things, quite a few things, and lived through some difficult periods. But it seems like in some ways this period right now is really dark and confused.
Yeah.
And so even if it were to be a stranger, obviously in your immediate family, and your friends, but even to a stranger, to offer a word of encouragement, like it's so precious, and smile, and a joke, a short chat, and a word of encouragement. That is so beautiful, It's really beautiful mission, if you will.
Right.
So,
Well, you never know where that will lead.
Right.
You don't.
Sometimes it
You
will
don't.
lead on to a true long-term extended friendship.
Yeah.
And it may not. It may just brighten their day for a moment.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I want to bring up. One of the things that I do so often, we will see something, a nice outfit, a great pair of shoes, a good looking tie, whatever it is. And we just go, oh, we think to ourselves, gee, that's nice. I like that. But we don't say anything.
Right.
One of the things that I go out of my way now, when I see a cute pair of shoes or a great dress, I will share, like, wow, that is a beautiful dress. It looks, where did you get it? People love to see, to share with others what they've done. And especially if you're liking it.
That's right. That's
Well,
right.
and we need to learn how to accept those compliments.
Accept compliments.
How many times, especially as women, will go, oh, this whole thing, or well, I got it on sale at, or it was so cheap. No. Thank you. 2 words. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. It's one of my favorites. You don't need to tell them all of the details, especially, I got this at a garage sale, or I got
Yeah, or Goodwill,
those places are
Yeah.
great places to shop.
Yeah.
But you don't have to tell everything. It's just thank you. Because when you do things like this whole thing, it was on sale, or I've had it for years, or whatever, it belittles their compliment.
Right.
And so a lot of times when I comment, they go, oh, thank you. And I said, did you get it recently? Because if it's something I would love to go out and purchase. And so often it's like, no, I got it a year or 2 ago. That's okay, if you ask. But don't just tell people that, oh, you're complimenting this whole rag.
Yeah, exactly. So it's so important to just uplift people and to just say thank you.
Right. Exactly right. I agree with that.
Because our automatic response is like for me, one time, one of the biggest lessons for me, one day I was doing a fundraiser at a local ice cream shop, and my friend that owned the ice cream shop, she said that she was going to donate. And so I had my shirt on of what we were raising money for, and everybody that came up, she donated a portion of the sale. Well, this one man came up and said, you're with Adventure Works. And I said, yes. And he said, oh, I'd love to, has anybody bought you an ice cream? And I said, oh, you don't have to do that. He looked straight at me and he said, so you're refusing my gift to you?
Right.
That was absolutely a wake-up call, because I would do that so often. Oh, you don't have to do that. I can get it for myself. Yeah, no, I was refusing his gift. Oh, that was a wake-up call for me. From now on, if somebody says, if I'm in the same position or somebody wants to buy something, oh, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. I love it. And I will cherish it if it's something tangible, or I know that I'm going to totally enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, and Dawn, you've traveled extensively worldwide, and so many cultures. To do what she did is literally slapping the person in the face if you refuse a gift, whether it's a meal they've cooked.
Yeah.
My son was in Africa, and I mean, they cooked, and they cooked with water out of the Nile, which is not a clean place. And people from America get sick eating that. But you could not in good conscience refuse it.
Right.
Or some of the
Right.
weird things they eat that we think is odd, the bugs and
Oh, yeah.
creepy
It
crawlies.
is. I remember, so when I was first overseas, just right out of college, I was in the Peace Corps. That was kind of my first sachet out of the country. And I was working out on the edge of the world, really, in a place called Caazapá in Paraguay. And we went out to a ranch. They did a barbecue, and they honored me as the foreigner and gave me pig jowl, which is the fat. It's fattier than bacon. It's actually pure fat. They slice the pig's jowl off and fry it. And so there, you need to swallow hard and accept it with grace, as you guys are suggesting that. You're suggesting accept the gift with grace.
That's great.
And I ate it, fried pig jowl. I've eaten some other weird things on the road. And I made it through the night, let's put it that way, with some, smiles and thank yous. Muchas gracias. Thanks for the pig
It goes
jowl.
so
And,
far to how you can speak into their lives
yeah,
things that God may have you speak into their lives. If you
Yeah.
slap them in the face and say, I don't want your gift, or this is beneath me,
right,
how will they ever receive Jesus?
right. Exactly. Well, the relationship trumps everything. Actually, you mentioned Jesus. Paul talks about diet. He says, don't let that be a stumbling block, right? If you go to, if they serve you pig jowl, say, I know you are loved by God, and I'm interested in building a relationship. And thank you very much,
You
for fixing this
smile
for
and
me.
eat it and hope it
So,
Exactly. So,
I mean, I've traveled in Asia multiple times, and there's some different things you'll get over there, and
yeah,
it's a whole new world.
oh,
it is.
I'm sorry, but even going like to England, like when I was in England, it was like, okay, don't ask. Just don't ask what it is. And just certain things, it was like, okay, just Barbara, just don't ask. Just try it. Don't ask what it is. And just,
Yes, video the other day, and I don't know how it popped up, but it was these multiple kids at an English school, and some people were over there feeding them different food. And they were talking about what did they have, and they'll have like beans and toast, and it's like pork and beans on toast. I mean, it's like, ugh. But then they were talking about, well, what if we gave you biscuits and gravy? And so they gave them the biscuits, and they were like, this is pretty good. And then they put I think it may have been bacon on the side. And they go, this is really good. Then they put the gravy on the biscuits. And they were just like, ooh, I don't know that I can eat this. It was white gravy with sausage chunks.
oh, I love sausage gravy.
Oh,
Although I had never had sausage gravy until I moved to the States.
Well, but the kids, and these were all teenagers in a private school, and they're like, oh, I just don't, because they filmed them start to finish, and then they clipped things out. I said, I just don't know that I can do this. And then they're going, oh, this is good. Oh my God, this is really good. Oh, can I have more? And sweet tea was one of the things, they served them, and they just could not imagine the sweet tea. And they go, ooh, that is sweet. Ooh, can I have more?
Right, exactly. So try it. I'm of the philosophy, try everything.
Fun video. My husband and I watched it, I think, a couple of times.
Yeah, it just we all have our own little things. So just be open. Be open to something fun.
You never know where life will take you. Never.
That's for sure. Yeah, that is for sure. Yes.
So what's the weirdest thing you've ever eaten?
See, that's what I was going to ask.
Huh?
That's what I was going to ask. You and I think alike.
Well, the pig jowl was interesting. In Brazil, Betty and I lived in Brazil in the Amazon for a lot of years. working there as missionaries, and there they serve ants, sautéed, and it's only a certain kind of ant, and it's only the thorax. And actually, one
Big
of our
of
dear
an ant
friends.
is it that you could section out the thorax?
Well, these are actually, they have, there's a million different kinds of ants in the Amazon. They're everywhere. And these are really good sized ants. I don't know if you can see
Wow.
so they're like an inch long, maybe, or even bigger. And of course,
Like
they
the
also
size
have
of a
tiny little ants on the other end of the spectrum there. But
Oh, wow.
they would, our dear friend Haru is just one of the most beautiful, she's Brazilian, Brazilian friends we have, would saute them in a skillet, just the thorax. And so we did try those ones. And yeah, I mean, they were okay. I ate them. I wouldn't say that it would be something I would like seek out. There are other dishes in the Amazon that are interesting, but that was pretty weird. So crackly, they're crunchy, a crunchy
right.
snack, sauteed ant thorax. So that was interesting. Yeah.
I don't think we
Oh,
have
that's
any ants here big enough.
Big
To,
enough.
Yeah.
even though
Yeah.
I am in Texas and everything's bigger in Texas, red ants are about the biggest we get.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would be hard to get all their little tiny thoraxes. That would be very labor intensive.
Right. But what you said about earlier about people being generous, where we worked in the Amazon, it's quite a poor place. And when we first were there, I remember it's a really big deal for them to kill a chicken because a chicken to them is really eggs, not meat. And for a family, a really modest, poor family, to fix us chicken and offer that to us. And we didn't really quite realize the sacrifice
Wow.
that they were making until after the fact, as we became a little bit more acculturated, and understood Brazil better. Spent a lot of years there, and for them to kill a chicken and to give us the prime meat
Wow.
was a really beautiful act of love and sacrifice for them. And there again, what you said, I'm really grateful that we just accepted it, on face value and didn't say, oh, you shouldn't have done it or anything like that. Because that's, in the church, they said that is to steal their blessing, right?
Right.
And so that was quite a beautiful thing they did. And I think we received it.
Yes.
And of course, as time went on, we understood that nature. I'll tell you a really quick story, because when we first got there also, we were on a line boat. Everybody goes everywhere in the Amazon by boat because there are no roads. And so Betty is very fluent in Portuguese. There was a young Brazilian girl there, and Betty was admiring her hair. I guess her hair was kind of blowing in the wind. And she noticed also, I believe it was some kind of piece of jewelry to hold her hair in place. And she said, oh, you have lovely hair and you have such a beautiful brooch. Is that the right word? Or
A barrette. A barrette.
barrette. Thank you.
Barrette.
And the girl promptly took it off and gave it to her. And it's like, that's a beautiful thing that exists in some cultures. I don't think Americans would necessarily think that way, but it would be something interesting to learn, wouldn't it? Think about that, like she just took it off and said, well, here, I gift it to you,
No.
This is a stranger. And that's really quite a beautiful,
Wow.
really beautiful thing to do, I think. Yeah.
We could take lessons from different cultures.
We can learn a lot if you have an open mind and you don't go with a lot of prejudice. Yeah.
Yes.
You can learn a lot.
We need to learn that. We need to be prepared to do that when God tells us to.
And be
That's
open.
right.
Be open to learning it. So many people, you hear these horror stories of people going to other cultures, and they have that mentality that, and it's like, yeah, no, you're in their country. You're visiting.
That's right. That's right.
You're the visitor.
Yeah, they don't need to kowtow to us.
Yeah.
We need to fit into them. So
Yeah.
anyway, guys, our time went so
fast.
So we're gonna definitely have to hear more from Don because he's got such great stories. But I will tell you that Betty's gonna be coming on our show some too. So watch for that. We're really excited about it. So I'm not supposed to talk about that?
No, it's fine with me.
Oh.
She's,
I
she
thought it was a
does, she is,
secret.
she's an extraordinary, I mean, I'm prejudiced, obviously. She's my wife of more than 40 years, and but she's a beautiful spirit and many great things to share as well. Yeah,
Well, we look forward to hearing her side of the story.
sure.
Before we go, if you're watching on Facebook, be sure to click like and share. Please share this with your friends. And on YouTube, click like, share, and hit the
Subscribe.
subscribe button and ring the little bell so that you'll know when our new events come out. So definitely go check us out at YouTube. Mavens of Motivation is our channel, and all of our shows are on that one channel. So you can go check out Dawn's other podcast that's on aging experts, and be sure to make your day better. Circle up.
Yeah.
Have a great day, everybody. See you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.